All right. We got all this stuff put together. Oris
Stream's
is back.
Up. Stream's up.
Okay. Glenn, it has absolutely zero impact on what I'm going to say or do.
Understood. That's okay.
Absolutely none whatsoever.
And when it's just you and the regulars, it's not a big deal. But if there was somebody who didn't know, I just want to be really clear. I never want to surprise anybody with that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So it's just a habit.
Can they hear me talk on your stream?
Yes.
Oh.
That's why I let people know.
I thought so. I just thought I'd confirm. Oh,
yep.
There's cones in the middle of the road. Like I said, it's not going to impact.
I love having you guys in here because I'm usually pretty quiet, overly concentrated on talking, and I'm not the most engaging speaker, so having you guys in here as a peanut gallery is fun for me, and I think good for the stream too. Dad certainly loved it. Especially when it's a big group and you and Mick, and the bigger the peanut gallery, the more fun, I think.
Yeah, one of my regrets is my dad my dad was the world's biggest race fan.
Yeah.
And he never got to see me do this. I didn't start doing it till after he passed.
Showing 2 laps of fuel left.
Ove Tringerade in practice.
Yeah. Yeah, he's been back, I think, the last couple weeks, hasn't he?
I've never seen him in the practice session.
Oh, a week or two ago, he was practicing like on a Thursday, or not for a race. Or maybe I saw him on a Friday. It's like literally he was practicing a day before the race, but he hadn't been out there in ages. I think he was just trying to blow the rust off.
Even for the most talented of us, it's a tough car.
Yeah, you could sense Mick's frustration last night.
Yep.
Although his pace is fine. What the hell he's worried about?
Going faster.
Oh yeah. The other 10 guys that are fast, I guess.
Never enough.
We got 29 people. I thought we'd do better.
Laguna's free content, is that right?
Correct.
Yeah, me too.
A lot of people don't like it for some reason. So, my dad.
It's not a big passing track, of course.
No. Yeah, and this is the place my dad took me when I was a kid.
Yeah, that's cool.
You know, it's an hour and a half away from where I
Showing
grew
2
up.
laps of fuel left.
Sears Point is too, but we didn't. I don't know that we ever went there. This was the place that we went to. If I had to declare a home track and not having an actual track in Colorado, this would be it.
I don't even have any idea where the track is in the state, but the only one I know of in Ohio where I grew up is Mid-Ohio.
Mid-Ohio's the... Sitting here trying to think. Yeah, you had the street course at Cleveland. That was a big one back in the day.
Really?
Yeah. Burke Lakefront Airport.
That's the one in Cleveland?
Ohio.
Interesting,
Yeah.
okay.
It was wild because, you know, it was part of the track was on runways, so it was super wide. So guys could take 50 different lines through a corner, and you could go 10 wide on parts of the track, and other parts of the track were narrow and bumpy, and it was always one of the most entertaining races of the year on the IndyCar calendar.
You've got about 1 lap
Sounds like
left
Sebring.
of fuel.
Yeah, but way wider in certain parts. Most of it was on. I think most of it was on airport runways. So there was just a ton of space, and it just led to some crazy shit.
I bet.
They had to close an active airport every time they wanted to run the race, and I think ultimately got to be too big of a pain in the ass.
Yeah, I can see
At
that
St.
being a
Pete,
problem.
Yeah, they still do it at St. Pete. At St. Pete, they've got 2 different runways, and they only have to close down one of the runways.
Okay, you need to pit. You're not going
And
to make it.
it's not the
We're not
primary
making it.
wind direction runway, it's like the secondary. So I don't think it's typically that big of a... I mean, they can still, you know, fly
The
planes
airport's
inside.
still open, yeah.
Yeah.
Fastest lap in the session, mate. Good work.
I am registered for this thing. How many people are watching the stream? Hopefully
I don't
none.
really have
Hopefully
any...
they're all on the race.
Yeah, that is true. Almost everybody who watches midweek streams, of course, especially the ones who comment, are us. Just, you know, not racing, European, and you know, just off times. Like Jorge will often watch from bed, so he's watching, but he's not, you know, available to race. So most everybody's in the race.
I was gonna say, yeah. I mean, the 7:30 p.m. race is way too late for me. I don't know how these guys do it.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, here we go.
And I purposely don't have a way to know who's watching at any given time, because it, like you said, it doesn't really affect what I do, so it shouldn't matter. I'm definitely not as
talking to people.
Yeah, I'll respond to chat, of course.
Oh, they're leaving mess. So you can see the chat in your headset?
I hear it. There's a text-to-speech software that reads it to me. Yeah.
Just stop. It's just too fucking complicated.
And I do also have it projected into VR. I can technically read it if I glance up at it, but you know what driving the 49's like. I rarely get the opportunity to actually look at the chat, so... And the text-to-speech works pretty well. Usually I can understand the text-to-speech, and if I need to glance at it, when I get a chance, I can actually glance up and read it.
My God.
Welcome to California, dudes.
High usage, of course.
Dude! Welcome to California! Don't call me dude. Okay, dude.
Where's my car?
Said that was a fine in the 90s. Don't call me dude.
Whoops.
Yeah, get all those oops out now, John.
Well, it was Ben, so my instinct to pass him took over and not drive properly.
That's fair. One of the beauties
More
of
important to stay in front of him.
Bring her in and tell us how she feels.
yeah. One of the beauties of racing with the same people day in and day out for years.
Yeah.
It's just comfortable.
Youth is fleeting, but immaturity lasts a lifetime.
Hallelujah.
All right, what do we got here? 102. Ooh, cold track.
It was 109 during practice, so cooled.
Well, I'm achieving full throttle. That's good.
It's a plus.
Brake feels okay.
Keep saying it, Mick. That way it won't happen.
Go, go, go! Okay, mate, first quality lap. Come on, nice and clean. Get a banker in.
Missed that one.
We're showing 2 laps of fuel left. Come on, one more lap. Come on, push, push, push. Come on. You've got about 1 lap left of fuel, mate.
I chickened out and lifted on the exit to the last right-hander.
Checkered flag, checkered flag.
Yeah, those guys are still fucking around. Yeah, I'm 4 thousandths off of Nick. That's...
I haven't seen him this week, but assuming he's on pace, that's good. Race sets.
Yep. Yeah, most of these guys are on their second lap. One thing I'd love to see him do is use some sort of I mean, it wouldn't take much to shorten qualifying a little bit on short tracks where you can get away with it, and frankly lengthen it at other tracks like Le Mans where you could actually get 2 laps.
Yeah.
Just so people get out and do it instead of just sitting there fucking around. Doesn't matter this morning. It's the midweek races though. It's like I'm hungry. I want to go eat dinner.
Yeah, agreed. Well, and sometimes I wish people understood that if they went out on track and then exited back, they'd get flagged for having qualified. And if they don't want to qualify, if they want to start from the pits, then it'll shorten everybody else's, right? Because the system's not waiting on them to go on track for the first time.
You can wave it off too. You've got that. I still think most people don't know what that blue button is for.
I did forget about that. Although that's actually not new anymore. It's been around a couple of years, right? But it feels
it has. But most people don't read the release notes, so they don't know. Okay, I actually put a genuinely good lap in.
Yeah, that's strong, John.
Amazing what calibrated pedals do for a guy.
Hallelujah. I'm glad you made it at all last night. I'm sorry it was so kind of awkward, but...
Well, the beauty is I don't care.
And you learned that they were...
Yeah. That's right. And that's exactly right. I learned a bunch of stuff. I mean, it was like, okay, now I know what I got to fix between now and tomorrow. It actually worked out.
Yeah.
You know, I really don't... And frankly, I only lost 8 iRating points.
Is that what it was?
Yeah, it's just not a... Yeah, no, I really don't care about the midweek races. I consider those are more practice for this.
Yeah, of course. All right.
The one thing about them, though, is I drive differently in a race than I do in practice. So practice doesn't help. Racing helps. If that makes any sense.
No, I know what you mean. Yeah, my guess is you drive at like 95% in practice and about 80% in the race. That's why you never make mistakes. Like All right, where are we? We're back at Laguna Seca. This is the big one, the GSRC broadcast for the week. 31 drivers. I am driver 14, so right about in the middle. Really, no loust. I wonder if he's doing something fun. And I qualified P8. John's with me in voice, qualified P6. Nice lap, John, in front of Ove. And race set is active. Let's do it.
Oh, race set. Okay, deep breaths.
Deep breaths.
Ooh, right over. Much closer to the front.
Mate, that's going to be cutting it really close on fuel. Just lift off where you can, mate. Lift off where you can. The estimated strength of field is 2,960. It's a competitive field. Stay focused. Let's see if we can win.
Yeah, right, Rolly. I'll get right on that.
Deep breaths.
We're still waiting on two
Maybe a little bit of yoga. Maybe a little acupuncture.
Right, we're just waiting on the last car.
All right, have fun, John. What's Seb doing behind me? It's never a good sign.
Probably screwed up his second lap.
Right, we're all ready. Green flag, good luck. Left side. Still there. You're in the middle, 3 wide. On your left, 2 wide. Stay on the right. Keep to the right. Still there. Stay on the right. Clear on the left.
Big wiggle, Gary, but I'm glad you made it work.
1 on your left. You're on the right. 3 wide. On your left, 2 wide.
Oh, that was
Left
lucky.
side.
That was close.
Clear. Left side. Still there. Hold that line. Clear.
Happy to be
I have Uwe
alive.
and Seb behind me.
Happy to be alive, but I am hemorrhaging places.
That isn't good.
Well, our tourist came through on my inside and wiped out Gary on my ahead of me, so I dodged a bullet, but I was way off pace, out of gear, out of place, so I just got swamped before the Rahal. All right, now breathe. Tough to pass here. Where am I? Thanks, crew chief. Ended up in P13. I think I've got the regular crew chief only visible, only audible to me. Rolly and Mick are audible to the stream, but crew chief just said I'm in P13. All right, relax, breathe, get in the groove. Happy to be alive, smiling, keep smiling. If I hadn't let Gary go there, maybe I'd be the dead one.
Right side. Stay on the left. Still there. Hold that line. You're clear. 1 on your right. Still there. Clear on the right. 1 on your right. Clear on the right.
Nice move, Ben. I was not expecting that.
There's gravel everywhere. Guys are pigs.
It'll get worse. Ah, sorry, Ben. That was close. We lived. I think he was aware of the Josephine on his front outside. She made it too.
The car in P2 just set the fastest lap, 22.469.
They'll mix out in the gravel.
That's the slow ray.
Behind
I've tested it.
Uwe and Seth.
I've tested it.
The car in P2 just set the fastest lap, 22.316. That's it, mate. You're getting faster. Come on, come on. Let's see some more of this.
Rolly's out.
He was just behind me a couple laps ago. Alright, remember the net code between here and Australia, Glenn.
Slow car on
That's
the
awesome.
left. Laps, 20 laps to go.
We all three missed the apex by at least a car length.
Alright, Seb and Uwe are fucking around with each other. Breathing room.
Okay, the lead is running 22.365.
Don't even think it, Uwe.
Be aware that the car stopped on the left. Car 1 is now leading.
Robin Hood on YouTube says, let's go Glenn. Make it happen.
Hey, Steve, thanks. We miss you.
He was here. He's not racing?
Unless he's typing in chat at the same time. Nope.
Go right, left side.
That was close.
I've been told you cut the course. You'll have to slow down and give up the time gained.
Sorry, Ben, that was fun. Alright, serve the slowdown. Go get Josephine. Always disturbing when you have to dodge those pit lane cones that will actually damage you.
Yeah, they're in the middle of the track.
On your descent into the hardest braking zone on the track.
All right, Aku.
I'd like to claim a mine pun on Ben, but it definitely wasn't. I wasn't pressuring him at the moment. Oh, it's nice to see green sectors for this last couple laps.
That's it, mate. You're getting faster. Come on, come on. Let's see some more of this.
Boy, Plumley is genuinely fast here today.
How he drives so many cars in the service so well, I have no idea.
He's a really, really
Very
good
impressive.
driver.
Yep. And he can drive and talk at the same time.
I know. Yeah, unlike me.
I try, but when I do one of the two badly. If I'm doing it right, I'm prioritizing correctly and I'm talking badly. If I do it wrong, I find a barrier.
The car in P1
Or a sand trap.
set the fastest lap, 22.23.
Don't hit the apex that hard, Glenn. Don't have to take it literally.
That's it, mate. You're getting faster. Come on, come on. Let's see some more of this.
It's kind of nice to be chasing another Becker on track.
Okay, the leader's running 22.328. That car ahead is a lap down.
That car is you, Rolly, I think. Yep. Oh, come on, don't make those mistakes. What happened, Rolly, that you were pitted for 2 laps? What happened?
He disconnected at a packet loss.
Oh, is that what happened? Yeah, that sucks.
Fastest lap in the session, mate. Good work.
Thanks, Rolly.
The car in P1 just set the fastest lap, 22.15. Got a slow car ahead.
Any of you boys seen an Apex around here?
What's that?
Top Gun. When Maverick's trying to coach Cougar back onto the boat, he says, "Hey, anybody seen an aircraft carrier around here?"
Got it. Nobody ever made a movie about the Air Force. I wonder why. Actually, that's not true.
There's lots of Right Stuff and Chuck Yeager.
Keep going, just 10 more laps. One on your right. Clear, good job. The car behind you's gone off.
Oh no, Josephine, did you go off? Hope I didn't cause that. Couldn't miss the opportunity when he went wide, but I don't think there was any ghost contact that I'm aware of. Rolly will let me know. He had a front row seat. Uh, 6 seconds to Plumley. I don't think that's going to happen today.
Who? Plumley?
Yeah.
He's fast today.
But he does make mistakes. Not that I wish that on you, Robert.
P1 just set the fastest lap. 22.027.
But I'm not too proud to take advantage if you do.
The leader just did up 22.07.
Come on. Apexes are lava.
Got a slow car ahead.
A little bit better. That's what happens when you hit the apex, Glenn. Alright, Plumley's in sight. 4 seconds.
Yeah, he dropped back.
Fastest lap in the session, mate. Good work. Stay focused.
Oh, I'm focused, Rolly. Is he encouraging you again?
Told me how much fuel I had.
Okay, that seems useful.
It was the correct answer. I.e. enough.
Okay, 5 laps of fuel, 5 laps. There, just 2 laps to go.
A little too patient on the throttle out of that one. I missed that one. That was important.
Okay, lead's running 22.289. We're showing 2 laps of fuel left. White flag, 1 more to go.
All right, come on, Robert. 2.3 seconds. I wouldn't be surprised. Sorry, wrong word. I wouldn't be sad if you made a mistake right now. I would be surprised. I wouldn't be
Hey,
sad.
Gary. He must just be mired back there.
I think he's in my relative, but I haven't looked in a long time. I'm in 11th.
You've got about 1 lap left of fuel line.
Let's back a little bit. Well, I'm going.
.9 to Robert.
Right, that's it. There's the flag. It's all over. Ah, well. Bring her back in. We better have a debrief.
The way Rolly Chief says, we better have a debrief. Whew. All right, I'm glad to have survived that one.
Yeah, me too. Jesus, Mick.
Cheers, Robert. Wah, 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 wah.
And I'm out of gas.
Are you
I'm
running
out of the
7, John?
corkscrew. 7.5.
I think that's same thing I'm running. I'm sure I took it from you. Yeah, 7.5.
Yeah, 7.5.
But I guess I'm running slower because
From
I
that
have-
perspective of it looks like a
Excuse me.
useless code.
I have enough to get back to the pits.
All right. Well. Yeah, Gary was 4 or 5 behind you, Ben. Andres, Jorge, Mick, Kevin, Nick, Seb, and Uwe. All right. All right, I'm dropping off. I'll see you in Sunday Drive if you're going to make it.
Yep, I'll be there. See ya. All right, a couple of things I want to go. I definitely going to go back and take a look at lap 1. I got really lucky by not getting cleaned out by what I think was our tourists. And I got a little bit of start. Who's that I lost on the inside? Oh, I didn't actually because of the line of cars. Let's see, get rid of this. Oh, it was Seb. Yeah, so Seb was much faster, unsurprisingly. Seb much faster all around the course, including the start. On the outside here, he had just line of cars in front of me. I had clear track on the outside. But then Arturus almost took me out here too. I didn't realize this. I think let me make sure I'm not throwing stones where it's not. So that's Arturus, that's me, that's Seb. I was just slower than he expected. I'm sure slower than he wished. So Gary gets a little wiggle here and I let him go. At this point, I'm not watching Arturus. I've lost him. He's just not in my attention. Oof. Yeah, that was close. Could have been a lot worse for me, I think. Yeah, he was just kind of in the vortex of danger here. Bad news is Gary can't, especially with the turn-in, especially with the cold tires, if he's anything like me, he's not watching Arturus's trend. So what happens is he doesn't see him going in there. He just turns in. And maybe he does because he doesn't hit the apex, but still Arturus drifts out. Yeah, Arturus just needed to keep it tight there. Sorry, Gary, that sucks. Sorry, Arturus. But all things considered, I was happy to survive it. It was a near thing. And like I said, during the race, who knows? If I hadn't let Gary go, maybe Arturus comes through and takes me out, but who knows? No way to know. Let's see. And there were a couple of other... Oh, you know what I want to take a look at? I don't know exactly what lap it was, of course, but let's take a look here. Is this Rolly and Josephine? All right, so it's going to be a couple laps ahead, probably. All right, this is me. There's Josephine. All right, so let's go back. Curious what happened here when I passed Josephine. She was outside my mirror, so I couldn't see what was going on. He misses, goes wide. I see an opportunity to come inside. Okay, good. Well, bad news is she lost it. Sorry about that. Good news is it wasn't a me thing. No contact, no squeeze, no nothing. Understandably, she was trying to get on power right there in the sand. She was a little bit offline, and anytime you got a car next to you, if you're anything like me, it's a little nervous making. So, sorry, Josephine. That was a fun chase. And then Rolly had a front row seat. On hindsight, I felt pretty good about the space I gave her. On hindsight, I'm glad I gave her at least that much, just because she gets a little bit loose here, and who knows if I'm too close. Maybe she actually bumps me when she loses it. Yeah, not too bad. All right. Right, so this was after Ben spun. All right, that's probably all I want to take a look at. Happy to have survived it. Where I finished in P11, right? Yeah, P11. 2 seconds back of Robert. The good news is I'm very psyched to have put, I don't know, 5 or 6 seconds into Robert in the last 5 or 6 laps. So feel good about overall pace, and one of those cases where the race just wasn't long enough for me to put any more pressure on Robert. I would have enjoyed continuing to drive, and I'm sure Robert's happy to be at the end. All right, so let's take a look. All right, strength of field was almost 3,000, 2960. I gained 27 driver rating and lost 22 safety. I think I ended up with 8 or 9 incidents again. The 4X with Ben, that's what I forgot to take a look at. Sorry about that, Ben. I think you were probably being cautious of Josephine ahead in the outside, and that wasn't in my radar at the time. So I'm glad it worked out the way it did. Sorry for the bang. Let's see. So Audrey by 4.7 over Jorge. Kevin, nice P4, Kevin. Nick in P5. Seb worked his way up to P6. Ove, as usual, with very little practice, drives solid P7. John, good job. P8. Aku, Robert, me in P11. What did I end up with? 10 incidents. That's why I lost safety rating. The bang with Ben didn't help, of course. And then I think maybe all the rest were just silly off tracks. Can't remember exactly. So I finished 40 seconds behind. Okay, I'm content with that for the moment. I gained 122 championship points. And just out of curiosity, my fastest lap was at 122.9. Aku's was about the same. John's the same. Ove 122.2. 22.4, 22.5. Yeah, so 6 and 7 tenths against slower than that pack between 3rd and 8th. And then for the aliens of the world, 122.0. That's full 9/10. This is a minute and 24, so that's 84 seconds. I can't do that math in my head. What is that? 0.7%, something like that. Wait, how many seconds did I say? 0.9. So less than 1 second of 84. Yeah, I'm going to guess 0.7. Can't do that math in my head. What I'm always curious about is what's my percentage of pace behind the leaders? It's hard to do absolute time. So that percentage, for a long time, this is years ago before I actually got some coaching from Mick and learned how to race, I was psyched if I could get within 1% of the fastest laps. That was a big deal. I was happy with 1.5 or 2% just because I didn't know what I was doing. All right. Other than that, what else? Aku was fast, basically on the same pace as I was. So where did I start? I qualified P9, right? P8. Yeah. P8 would have put me behind Ove ahead of John. Yeah. John's just uber consistent, and especially with no delays and free track ahead of him. Not surprising. That's where John put it in. All right. All in together, a pretty good week. I'm happy with my pace here. Sometimes it's just track conditions. Sometimes I am making some changes to my driving technique. So hopefully that's going to stick and be advantages for all the tracks in the future. But who knows? There's definitely some tracks, some surfaces that I don't really understand why I tend to do better at. All right. I'm going to go watch the broadcast watch back with the group. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.